What's up, everybody? I don't know if you guys can see. The lighting is horrible, really bad. What's up, everybody? So I'm gonna wait till a few more people join the chat. I look crazy. It's Sunday. I'm chilling. So what's up? What's up with everybody? What's up, Shar? How are you? Just waiting for some more people to join. KD, what's up? Vanessa, what's up? Taku, what's up? Ethan, what's up? Okay, there's a lot of people saying what's up, but hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. Okay, so I have 13 people in here. I might start. If you guys have questions about petitions and all that stuff, just hold off on that first. I'm doing okay. I'm sleepy. It's a late start today for me. But I'm probably gonna go with my little sister to go help her find something for Halloween because I already found my daughter's costume. I still haven't found my costume. So if any questions you guys have about petitions and manifestations and stuff like that, just hold off on it. Think about your question or whatever. So I'm just gonna get into it because recently, I saw a post this morning. It was a post, I guess it was a quote from Erykah Badu. Erykah Badu is dope. I think she's what we consider a witch. She's probably into magic. I wouldn't doubt it. Ilani, you could have asked me. I would have cleared my schedule. I want to go to the lake. I need to meditate and release by the water. The bathtub is not doing it. So, okay, my bad. So I saw it was a meme or something from Erykah Badu, and it was a quote saying if you write something down on a piece of paper or whatever, watch how it works, watch shit get real or whatever. And it made me think of something I recently manifested. So something I recently manifested, it was a payment back for something. So I had got something off of Instagram. Beware, you guys. Make sure you do your research with some of these ads on Instagram. That's it could be stupid stuff. But I found that petitions do work. That's my biggest thing. But I think the other powerful method that I do with setting intentions on a piece of paper is burning it. I'll do release letters. I'll write a letter of things I wish to release, people I wish to cut ties with, whatever, blah, 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 forgiveness letters, and then I burn it. So usually when I try to manifest something, I'll burn it. But for some reason, on my altar, I work with a specific deity. She gets the job done, by the way. So on her altar, I put my petitions. I have 2 recent petitions that I can vouch for and say that they manifested. So the first one, I typically use black marker. I typically use black ink because I feel like it's permanent. It's sealed. But say for instance you're doing a love petition or a money one, you might use a green marker for money or a green pen for money. Love, you might use red, you might use pink, you could use whatever you feel guided to use. You can use a pink piece of paper, a red piece of paper, a heart-shaped paper. If you're doing candles, I also use when I set intentions on my candles, I put black markers on them too. I'll put a black marker. If it's a money ritual, I'll put green. So the first one I did was a money ritual, and I used a green marker. And I just set the intention of how much money I needed by what time. And this petition actually happened. So I requested a certain amount of money. It wasn't small. It was pretty good lump sum of money. So anyway, so I had put a very specific intention for this and that. I need this money by this time of the month. Um, and then I was just very clear on like why I needed it. So I put why I needed it, when I needed it. But what I did was I put it under, my space on my altar by my deity. I left it by her, and I just left it alone. I forgot about it. In a sense, like I just trusted that I would get the money when I needed to get it. So I've already written it. Some people say you can write like you're speaking it into existence. That could work for some people, but energetically by nature as humans, it might not work for some people because they already have in their mind like this sounds fake. Like I'm writing like, oh, my husband, he was so good to me, blah blah blah. We did this today. Like it sounds fake to some people unless you're doing it for fun. Like you could write something like, I really had so much fun at this concert, blah blah blah. It was this, it was that, as if you were really there. And that might work because you're using your inner child energy. But if you're doing it knowing that you're just like writing it just to set an intention, it's not really natural to me. So I just write straight up like, I need $1,000 by January 1st, blah blah blah. I typically sign my name. I signed my name on this one, and then sometimes I date it, but you can see that I put my name, Chinoa, and I signed it. I put like my favorite little, I put a sign next to it. Like I signed my name a specific way, and then I put like a little shape, whatever, because that's personal to me. So that's my money petition, and this one works. I did this last month, and I needed the money October, so that already happened. The next one that I did, I noted it or I signed it to the deity that I wanted to work with. You don't have to do this. It can be Dear God. It could be Dear Archangel Michael. It could be Dear Aunt Ruby, whatever. Dear Oshun, Mother Oshun, blah, blah, blah. So what I did was I put her name down there and I asked that the scam on Instagram, that's what I wanted to get into. So I had recently got scammed by this company on Instagram. It was like, it looked legit. And then when I started looking at the comments later on, I was like, I got scammed. I got played. And then I went on YouTube and then the company was, I got played. Basically, I put two and two together. So I'm like, okay, never again am I going to buy shit off Instagram unless I know for sure. So I think I learned my lesson with Fashion Nova. Like Fashion Nova is not that bad, but their stuff is kind of cheap, like material wise. Like the fabric and like the make and stuff is like, it's cheap as shit. So I was kind of disappointed. But anyway, this is something different. This is a different company. So I found out that they were using false advertisement, and I hit up PayPal and I was like, I'm being scammed out of my money. I need my money back. And PayPal, they have to go through the seller first. Like you have to communicate with the seller first and exhaust all your options. So the seller had hit me up and was like, please send us pictures of the item and blah, blah, blah. And I sent a picture and I said, you know good and well, like this is not the shit that I ordered. Like this is nothing like what I ordered. So they were like, this is exactly the product. And if you don't like it, you can just send it back and then we'll refund your money. And I was like, fuck it. I don't have time for all that. You're way out of the country. They said they were in Another thing was they lied about their location. PayPal, yeah, it was through PayPal anyway, but still, they said they were located in the United Kingdom, and then I paid for expedite shipping so I can get it within 3 business days. So on top of that, it never came on time, and then when it finally did ship, it was coming from, I think it was not Iraq, but it was like, what the fuck was it coming from? Not Iraq, but something like that. And I was like, okay, that's another check off the thing, like something's wrong. So I kind of just left it alone. I'm like, I'm never going to get my money back. But while I was going through the process of waiting for my item to come, I was like, I asked for justice when it comes to this purchase I made from this company. I put the company's name down. I said, I asked that I get refunded all of my money that I paid to this seller. And I put the amount. I said, I would like this amount back with no problem. Anybody else who also got scammed by this company also get their money back, and others be guided not to buy. So I've said, if it's a crappy item, I want my money back. If it's okay, then I'll accept it. But I said I would like my money refunded back to me ASAP. So I forgot about this petition. I threw it away. Like, I not threw it away, but I put it up on my altar and I completely forgot about it. But I was already like discouraged. I'm like, I'm not gonna get my money back for this item. I might as well just forget that $80. I spent about, it's like $70 at first, and then the expedite shipping and everything like that, it turned out to like 80 something dollars. I'm like, I'm not getting my money back. I might as well just forget about it. So this Friday, I forgot about the whole thing. PayPal hit me up and was like, "We decided to rule in your favor," and they gave me all of my money back. And I was like, "Okay, that's what's up." So that was a recent one of mine. So the biggest thing for me is every time I detach from something, I forget that I even asked for something. It comes. That can be kind of like iffy. It could be good and bad because sometimes you might not want that thing anymore that you asked for, and that happens sometimes. Like, if we get into the love thing, like it's a catch 22. Like, I would want somebody so bad, and I'd be like, oh, I wish I could be with this person, or I wish this person would get to know me, or I could get to know them, blah, blah, blah. And then years down the line, I'll forget about this person and I won't even care about them. And then next thing you know, comes out, oh, I was feeling you the whole time. Like, I had a crush on this boy in high school. He was a popular dude or whatever. I was not. I was just like a in between type of person. I wasn't popular, but I was still cool with people. But I had a crush on this guy all throughout high school, and I had no clue that he even liked me until years later. Like, we started talking as adults, and then come to find out he had a crush on me the whole time, and I was like, I did not know that. But I just, when you forget, like, my biggest manifestation thing I'm learning is really detachment. And that's the law of attraction for you. Like, you really have to detach. Even if it's like you believe and you trust, like, you have to have that level of belief and trust. But for me, I don't think it was like trust and faith. It was more so like, I just, fuck it. Like, I don't know. I give up, like, whatever. Or with my money, the money one that I needed to have a certain amount of money at a certain amount of time, I don't have problems with manifesting money like that. I usually just leave it alone. Like, I might panic, like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay for this, but I trust that the universe always has a way. So that happened. But yeah. So that was something that I wanted to share with you guys because I feel like it's powerful when you write out intentions. It really is. I'm just like one of those types that are like creative, and I have to see things, in a creative way, or it has to be fun for me to do it. But you just need a simple piece of paper. Like, some people, like when you do hoodoo petitions or you work with like hoodoo and stuff, they typically tell you to use paper bags. You don't have to use a brown paper bag to set your petition. You don't have to write it a specific way. I find it powerful when you're just real clear on what you want and why you want it, and let it be what it is. I have one friend that when she writes her petition, she puts them in a coffee, like coffee bean can or whatever, with coffees, kind of like she's burying it. Some people actually literally bury their intentions in the dirt, and just, that's their way of like setting it into the earth and letting it be what it is. Sometimes I'll burn a white candle, or a candle that kind of coexist or whatever, is compatible. I don't know the right word I'm trying to say. That goes with the spell. So, say for instance, it's a money intention. I would get like a green candle, or a candle that's made for money and bills and stuff. They have candles like that. So I would do that and just put it underneath, and that's how it works for me. Yeah, you really like, we're very powerful beings just by nature, but I've learned that words hold so much power, so much weight. Even if you're just speaking it or you're writing it, it's powerful. And when you're writing something, it's kind of like it's sealed, like it's set. And I write my name on it and I date it sometimes. So if you do that, even more so, like you're kind of putting it, you're setting it. You just kind of set it. So it's not really hard. I think it's just, it depends on the method that works for you. It depends on your level of attachment too. Because if you're worried about something all day, every day, like, okay, I know I asked Spirit to help me with this car, but you don't have to use a specific certain color. Like, you don't have to use a certain color for your intentions. Like white candles can be used for whatever. It's just your intention, whatever you put in that candle. And then one thing I love about candles is um, you can set your own intention by the color too, but you can also dress your candles. So like if I'm doing a money spell, I'll probably put like basil or bay leaves because well bay leaves are more connected to um you feel like doing some readings at nature today? What do you mean? Oh, in nature today? How? I don't get it. What do you mean? You got well, I'll marco you after this. When I get off, I'll marco you. But I don't know what you mean. Can you use crystals? What do you mean? You can use whatever you want. Like if like I was saying with the candle thing though, like I would use something that I know kind of like money is attracted to. Like I would probably dress it a candle with cinnamon or dress it with honey or if I'm working with like say a certain deity, I would use maybe something that represents them or an angel or something like, oh, I'm going to Archangel Michael. Let me get a blue candle or something like that. I'm working with Oshun. Let me get a yellow candle or something like that. Whatever works for you, like you can speak it into existence. If you feel comfortable speaking it into existence, do that. For some people, all I'm saying, like for me, when I do it, that doesn't sound authentic. It sounds like I'm forcing myself to believe something. Oh, you mean at like to come to my house? Because I can't leave right now because me and my sister, me and Maya are supposed to go look for her costume. So I can't leave right now, if that's what you're talking about. Um, what else was I gonna say? Yeah. So it's just pretty much you gotta find what works for you. What do I use for passing certifications? You can use whatever resonates. Like say if it's like a test or something, say if it's like school, you want to pass a test or something, I would probably use like something that's like connected to the mind. Maybe like purple, like the crown chakra, or white, purple, the third eye chakra. Probably blue for communication. Just whatever you feel guided. You can even use white. Um, they have shit. This wasn't gonna charge. They have that's an ugly still. Why they do that to me? They have candles. If you go online, they have like so many different candles, but the perfect thing for like blockages or you want to make sure that the pathway is clear for something, you can use road opener candles too. Like they have road openers, oils and stuff like that, powder. I don't use that like oils and stuff. Like I make my own oils and shit. But candles, like you can find road opener candles. I have some on my website. I've used those before to remove blockages. You can use I would use sage like in certain candles if I'm trying to clear the energy. You can use sage. You can like break up some sage and put it in your candle. You can use some sea salt. I just get creative with it. The best way to get rid of negative thoughts, you probably do need to also set the intention. Like just be very clear. Like don't hold nothing back. Just be like, spirit, this is what I'm wanting, but I have a hard time trusting and believing. If there be any blockages in my way, including myself, please, remove me out of the situation, remove my ego, remove blah blah blah, whatever this, my fear. Just be real clear with your intention. Yeah, if that's how you see it, witches and magic and all that, that's how you see it. I feel like this is some ancient shit that my ancestors used, and I feel like it's demonized to be something bad, like, oh, you're doing something evil. You can take this stuff and do evil with it. Of course, you can flip anything and make it evil. Um, you just have to be careful. Like, of course, there's spells out there to harm people, to make people suffer, and all. I've seen some stuff like that. I would never do that just because I know how karma works. But I do justice spells. If I feel like something is unjust, I leave it open for spirit to kind of solve the unjust. Like with this, I don't know how spirit's gonna get those other people back for scamming all these different people with their advertisements. I don't know how that's gonna work. But the thing is, for me, I feel like justice for me is getting my money back. Um, and hopefully anybody else has dealt with the same thing, get their money back too, and for other people to be warned and do their research before they order from that company, or maybe the company just go out of business. But and I don't like, I've had some instances where karma's hit people that's done me grimy, and I didn't even set the intention for it to be like that. I've had people try to say just because they didn't like a reading or something that I didn't give them their money back, that I'm gonna get karma. Some lady tried to threaten me. I think I did a video on it. She tried to threaten me because I didn't give her money back for a reading that I didn't even get a chance to do. And I told her that I don't do refunds. So either you be patient or you get another reading that's of the same amount or less. So you already know what the deal is. If I set a clear intention that I don't do refunds, you can't expect me to give a refund, and you're not going to threaten me and say I'm going to get karma put back on me, because that's not how it works. If I was being deceptive, then yeah, that would be on me. But if I'm being clear and upfront with you, no. So, yeah, so if I'm doing anything, it's either to help myself or help other people around me. If I'm doing a ritual that's like love, that's like the biggest, I think that's probably one of my biggest blocks with my ego is like, you shouldn't be doing love spells because, I have all these different ideas around it. For one, I would never try to get somebody to fall in love with me through a love ritual. I will never do a ritual or a spell to get somebody just to be with me. The thing that I always do, if I like somebody, I'll set the intention. If it's meant for me and this person to get to know each other, and if it leads to this person being the one for me, okay, cool. But if I'm doing a love spell, like either show me that this person is worth my time. I usually do that too. Show me if this person is worth me even getting to know, or I would like to get to know this person better. And then I'll make that distinction whether or not this is somebody I want to be with. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, I want so and so to be my man. Like, you have to be careful with that shit. It works. Sometimes it does work. Yep, that it does backfire, because it's like the person just gets kind of crazy. That happens because you're turning this person into a robot, and it only works because that person's receptive to it. Some people are powerful and strong enough not to be receptive to spells, and that's another thing. As an intuitive and as an empath, I know people have tried that shit on me too. So I know people trying to have manifested me and attracted me, because I'll be like, why is this person on my mind so much, and I don't even like this motherfucker like that. Why is this person on my mind? And because somebody's trying to do magic on me, and I pull cards on it. Whoever you, if I don't know, they could be watching it anytime. If that's you, motherfucker, I'm onto your game, and it's never gonna work. So you can stop. But that's happened before. Like, I can just tell like somebody's trying to pull on my energy. It's weird. It's kind of sucks being an empath, but at the same time, it's helpful. It does help. But yeah, if you want to attract something to you as far as love goes, if you want to attract love, just be like, Spirit, I love Brad, and if Brad is meant to be with me, bring him to me. Or I want to get to know Brad. He's cute. I like him. I think I like him. But before I even go any further, I would like to get to know this person. If it's meant for that to happen, that's what it's going to be. Other than that, like, I've tried that and it backfires. Like, I've tried to be like, I want to be with this person. It doesn't work like that. I've had more success with just leaving it open. I've done that with exes. Like, okay, he's back in my life. If it's meant to be, he'll respond back to me. I would like to manifest a conversation between us just so I can get clarity on where we are. And it's happened. It's just, you just have to be open. How do I know? I can tell someone's done it on me. Like I said, how I know, like, somebody's done a love spell or something on me. And it might not even be that they've done an actual spell. It could just be I'm picking up on their intentions, or I'm picking up on their desires. And my friend, like, one of my friends, she said that happened to her too. Like, she will see this person's name everywhere and she'd be like, I don't even like him, I don't fuck with him like that, but I'm seeing his name everywhere and I can't stop thinking about him. And it's like, for what? Like, why? And it could be because either one, that guy is like steadily thinking about her all the time. It could also be he's setting intentions, maybe willingly or unwillingly, that he wants to be with her like that. For me, I've come across some weird people online, and some of them I know for sure is into um, stuff, like into magic and spells and stuff. So I wouldn't put it past them if they done it. But the thing is, like, it doesn't work that way. You can't force yourself on somebody. If it's meant to be, it's gonna be. And I always tell people too, another thing, it kind of gets into synchronicities, and some people might not agree, but you attract synchronicity sometimes. Like, you might not think you're thinking about Brad all the time, or you're not thinking about Keisha all the time, but it's subconsciously, if you're thinking about that person, you're going to manifest things that have you reminding you of this person. Um, and you think that, oh, the universe is sending me a sign. Sometimes, yeah, the universe could be sending you something, but sometimes we project those things outwardly and we attract them to us. So that happens. You have to be mindful. And even if you come across a synchronicity with somebody's name or their birthday, think beyond the fact that, oh, this is meant to be, or this means that we're meant to be together. Maybe it's like a sign for something. Maybe you had a thought of something you need to release or something and their name popped up. Like, you just got to be a little more discerning. You have to be more discerning. Soul ties. I couldn't think of no other names. Soul ties, how to cut them. It's okay. This is what I've learned. I've done so many release spells on people. It's crazy. I've done, like, in love, like, I'll say, you know, me and this person, we're not good as friends anymore. Or this ex, like, I appreciate everything they've shown me. Like, I've done it in love and in forgiveness and just releasing the resentment. And I've done that several times. And sometimes you do have to continue to do clearing energy. Sometimes you do have to continue to keep up your work, your spiritual work, for it to start, you know, that momentum. Sometimes you only need to do it once and let it be, but sometimes you do have to keep it going. But then there's other instances where maybe the ties are not meant to be cut at that time. Like, maybe there's still something that you need to learn in the situation. Maybe there's something you're meant to experience still. So it's not always just like, oh, cut and dry. But you can do, like, you can go to a spiritual, you can go to a priestess if you're into that, whether this be from your church, whether this be a voodoo priest. You can go to them, you can do it yourself, you can meditate and do a cord cutting meditation. You can call on Archangel Michael to help you. You can set a candle, you can write a petition, you can burn the paper, release it, you can bury it, whatever you feel guided to do. I do what works for me. But sometimes things are just not meant to be severed at that time, like when you want it to be. And I totally get it. But oh, speaking of too, like, as far as like people setting ill intentions towards you, whether it be love spells that are unwanted, or whether it be like negativity, because some people don't even know that they can set intentions, like negative energy towards people, through being jealous of them, saying something about them, like, I can't stand that bitch, like, I wish she would just, like, go away. Like, just be careful what you say. And I sound kind of harsh when I say that, but some people say things like that. You have to be protected. Just protect yourself. Just protect yourself. Always, like, cleanse your energy, especially if you work with a lot of people like I do. I work with different energies all the time, and sometimes I carry their energy and their weight because I'm working with them, and sometimes I kind of I don't, the twin flame stuff, that to me, like, that's a whole nother topic. I'm not into that. like that. Like, I understand the concept to some degree, but I kind of feel like people give it way too much credit, too much power. For one, people don't even know where the word twin flame came from. So it's like, to me, I'm not giving that type of energy no power. But you just have to stay clear. Just stay clear and make sure that you protect your energy. If you work at an office with a whole bunch of people, you shake hands with people all day, or you're on the phone talking to people all day, every day, like at a call center or something, you have to clear your energy, because you're swapping energy cores with people, and they could be at a distance from you, but you're still interacting with them energetically. So just cleanse yourself all the time, especially if you're in a work environment where it's like gossip. Like, for call centers, I can't stand call centers, because it was always some gossip, it was always drama. I would always have anxiety working there, on top of the people I talked to on the phone. They would, be upset about things. Why is my phone bill turned off? Why are you calling me? Stuff like that. So at the end of the day, if you work in those environments, cleanse your energy, take some crystals with you to work. Like my mom, my brother suggested that she take some crystals with her to work, and she said her calls were a little bit better. They're a little more calmer, and she would be a little more calmer. When I used to work in call centers, I would carry like a little mojo bag full of different crystals and just have it on my desk. You can sage yourself before you go into work. You can sage yourself after. You can have crystals constantly at your desk in your environment. But there's so many different ways you can cleanse yourself. You can go home, take a bath, get some sea salt, get some Himalayan salt. There's an egg. You can do like a egg cleanse. Like, you don't have to crack the egg. You just roll the egg over your body. You can look that up. If you're taking a shower, just meditate and imagine a white light just cleansing your energy and all that toxic energy flushing down the drain. You can do that. There's so many different ways. Palo Santo wood is another good one. Cedar grass, I think it's called. I don't know how to pronounce it. That's another good one. A candle. I have protection from my enemies candle that I use every now and then. Spellbreaker candles, archangel candles. It's endless. Or you can even set your own intention, like I said, with a candle. Set your own intention. Put some sage in it. Put some sea salt in it. Put a prayer, or say a prayer. I have my favorite prayer on my altar, and it's the "No weapon formed against me" prayer. I keep that on my altar. I used to have it on my reading table with me by a mirror. That's another thing. Mirror magic. I lightly use mirror magic. I don't use it all the time. So mirror magic is more like, you can use it for different things, but I use it to kind of just like reflect what I want back to me, and anything that's coming against me, that will be reflected towards that person. So I used to put that mirror it was on my reading table at my old place I was at, and I had my prayer written next to it. So anytime somebody would project a negative energy towards me, it would be projected back outwardly towards them. So don't fuck with me. But yeah. Yeah. Some people say sage is not the big thing for them. Some people like Palo Santo wood. Palo Santo wood works just as good. It smells good. I prefer the smell of Palo Santo wood over sage, unless you don't mind the smell of it. But Palo Santo wood's good. Florida water is my favorite. Florida water, you can take some Florida water. It's a cologne. I put it on my third eye, my throat chakra, my heart chakra. I put it on my pulse right here. And then if I'm working with my cards, I don't do it all the time as I should, but I'll put it on my cards. I'll wipe it on my table. I'll take a bath in it. How to clean your crystals. There's multiple ways you can clean your crystals. Like a quick thing, just what I do. You can use the moon to clear your energy of like put it under a full moon just to cleanse the energy. If they're washable, because some crystals dissolve in water, so you can't put those in there, but water, putting them in sea salt maybe for a little bit, just let them sit overnight. You can put them Sage them, Palo Santo with them, rub them down with Florida water. You can pray over them. There's so many different things you can do. And some people will say, oh, that's not what I was taught. That's not what you do. Like, well, that's what I do. And that's what works for me. And that's the thing. Whatever works for you. And half the time I just go off my intuition when I'm being guided to do when I do certain things. So it's not always like, oh, I got this from so-and-so and so-and-so told me to do that. Yeah, sometimes it does help to get references, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And I find that a lot of times when I try to mimic something that someone else has already done, like, oh, this is how you do it and that's how you do it, it never works for me. So you need some Palo Santo. Like, whatever works for you. Like, mirror magic, my friend, she kind of, she's a little more knowledgeable about it than I am. But just me, I think I just did that naturally, where I put the prayer over my mirror so that anything that was against me, that would be amplified towards that person. Kind of like karma, you get what you put out type of thing. But she does it for protection. Like, she'll write a prayer and she'll say everybody that she wants, you know, protected, and why, and the reasoning. So anything that someone does against you, it will be amplified towards that person. So if somebody's calling you ugly, it will just mirror the ugliness back to them tenfold, pretty much. You know, another dope thing is emojis. I use emoji magic sometime, and I know that sounds so stupid, but I use emoji magic sometimes, especially like if I don't want to attract negativity on my social media. I'll put like in a comment section like a meaning for what I'm trying to project. My friend, she does something interesting. She hides emojis in her pictures on her, like if she posts a selfie on Instagram, she'll put an emoji in her picture, but she might minimize it really small to where you'll never see it. And that's just to protect her energy from any negativity coming her way. So you can do that. Kind of like subconscious programming too. Like, symbols are programs. That's like another thing. Sigil magic. I've used sigil magic before for protection. You can make your own sigils. You can use sigils that are already online, but I prefer you make your own sigil. I have so much stuff in here that I forgot about. So in my desk, like underneath my desk, I have sigils. They all mean something different. Pinterest vision board. What's a Pinterest vision board? I know what vision boards are, but what do you mean Pinterest? Vision boards have never really been my thing per se. Like, I'll put pictures of stuff on my altar that I want to manifest, but I'll put like, I have a picture of a wedding dress that I want, like that's an ideal wedding gown I would want, and I put it on my altar, like stuff like that. I guess it's kind of vision board like, without the paper and the ink and the glue. It's just sitting on my altar. I've never heard of the Pinterest. I don't know. I guess when you go, oh, okay, I get it. I think Pinterest is like a blog, kind of like a blog or Tumblr like thing, and I guess you just put all the stuff you want together. But if you want something for yourself, vision boards, technically they're done on a big like piece of paper or cardboard, and you just cut out pieces from magazines of the car you want, a type of relationship you want, a partnership, put a couple on there, like, oh, I look up to Jada Pinkett and Will Smith. That's just an example, but you would cut out a picture of them or something. Or I want a puppy. I want a Pomeranian puppy. I want a brown Pomeranian. Then you would snip out a picture and put that on there. Like, all the things you want. Like, you personalize it. That's like a lot for me. That's kind of the inner child thing that I was speaking of. That could be fun for your inner child, because when you put that type of creativity into your manifestation and your prayers and intentions, the more powerful it is, I feel. But when you're all serious and it becomes like a job where it's like, I want to manifest love, and you know, I'm open to it, universe, and I want this guy to come in. I'm open, blah, blah, blah. And it just feels forceful. It's not really manifesting. But if you daydream about the perfect relationship you want because it feels good and it's fun to think about it, 9 times out of 10, you're going to manifest something similar because you're not focused on it in a desperate way. I daydream too. I'm surprised I don't have a whole bunch of Pisces in my chart, but I like to daydream too because it's fun, for one. Have I ever manifested anything through vision? Technically, more so through a dream, more like through, like when I have premonitions in my sleep, I've manifested certain things, but not like anything big, like, oh, I wanted that. I'm more of a maybe think about it and say I want it and then let it go, write about it and then let it go type of person. That's more of what works for me without even trying most of the time. Yeah, if you're just daydreaming for fun and it has a direction, there's someone online that I would suggest you guys listen to. His name is Neville Goddard. I'll put in, hold on. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, and I hope I'm spelling it right. Hold on. He's like an old school like law of attraction. He kind of discusses it in a biblical, more like a metaphysical way, and he talks about visions a lot, visualization a lot. Like one of his key methods is you have to see the manifestation to the end, but you have to be consistent about it. So it's like, say you want this red car, this red Corvette, 1940, I don't know, I just made it up, I don't know. And you want this specific car. You just manifest through thinking about it often, but think of it like, have like a scene played out. It might not manifest exactly like that, but it will be something similar. So say for instance, I've heard of The Secret. I've never read the book. My mom's boyfriend at the time, he had the documentary, and I watched it a long time ago. But basically what you do is just like this red Corvette, you have this ideal in your mind and you see yourself going to the lot and then being like, you're approved. And they give you the keys and you turn the key and you're in your car. Like it can be something like that. If it's, you want to graduate with these amount of like credentials, blah, 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 whatever. Think about seeing your grades, the final grade, and then seeing yourself walking across the stage and getting your diploma or your certificate, whatever. See it to the end. That's what he always says. If you want to get married, see the end result. See yourself walking down the aisle. Like envision it, but do it often. Not like a priority, not like a chore, but do it because it feels good and it's fun to do it. But you have to constantly program your brain to see that over and over because your brain is a projection. So if you put that in your mind, it's going to project. It might not be similar. You might not have the same exact dress on in your vision, but if you keep imagining that in your mind, it's going to happen. There's this other woman online, she said how she manifested meeting her favorite comedian. She manifested meeting her favorite comedian. She said it happened almost exactly similar. And I was listening to how she was explaining it. I'm like, okay, her method is similar to Neville Goddard's method because she saw what she wanted to happen and she just thought about it. Oh, like constantly, maybe not constantly, but consistently. So she was like, I wanted to meet him. I wanted to make him laugh about a joke. I just wanted to see him laugh, and I wanted to be no problem to take a picture with him and just meet him, blah, blah, blah. And she said it happened very similar to that. She made him joke. She's like, I want to make a joke that only he would know that I know that I'm his fan or whatever, because I think he's on a radio show. I can't remember what comedian it was. But just hearing that, that's what she did. She saw it to the end. That's how you're supposed to see it. If you want a baby, see yourself holding that baby and smelling that baby. It might not look exactly like the baby you had in your vision, but the result is more than likely it's going to lead to that ending result. And that's the biggest thing about it. So Girl, not Howard Stern. So yeah, I'm working on it. I'm gonna see how something works. I feel like it's working, but I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna see if I do this. If I try this vision method, I don't want to own no damn bar. Oh, what am I drinking? It's ghetto when I'm drinking. I'm drinking some orange juice and some Moscato. It's not a mimosa, but kind of mimosa, whatever. I've never heard of him, but that's dope, Sarah. Yeah, it's so cool. It's so dope. Like, let me see what I've manifested. Like something similar to that. I'm trying to think, because it seems like I have some experiences like that, but not exactly like that though. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's happened before. It's happened a few times. Like, I've always said I wanted to meet certain people, and then I kind of just, it's a desire that I have, but then I just forget about it and let it go, and then it will happen. That's usually, I'm gonna just say detachment is the best thing. Like, you really, it's not that you don't want it anymore, you're just not harping on it like that. It's like saying you want a cheeseburger Tuesday and be like, ooh, I really got a taste for a cheeseburger, but you just let it go. You might eat something else. You might get Panda Express instead because it's closer to you. But later that week, your friend might be, hey, you want to go to Fat Burger? And you're like, oh, shit, yes, I want to go to Fat Burger. It's like that. Like, you got to kind of see your manifestations like that. Like, Ilani knows what I'm talking about with the card deck she bought me. She bought me a card deck that I wanted to buy myself last Christmas. I seen it on Instagram. It was much more expensive on Instagram, actually. It was a holographic tarot deck. I was like, ooh, that deck is dope. I want that deck. And I'm like, oh, I can't afford that right now because I need to buy my daughter's stuff first. So I'll hold off on that. And I forgot all about that fucking deck. And then Ilani hit me up like a few months later and was like, I bought you this really cute deck. And I didn't have that in mind. That's not the first thing that came to mind. I was thinking it was something, you know, like girly and pinkish, maybe some manga, anime or something. But when she told me what it was, I was like, oh shit, like I wanted that deck. So that's kind of, it's the key, is detachment. Like, you kind of have to almost forget that you even asked about it. And that's why Spirit says all the time, like, you ask for something, but it's not coming because you're keeping track the fact that it's not coming. But if you just live your life, and that's the hardest thing for people, especially when it comes to love, that's the hardest thing, is living your life and not worrying about manifesting it. Girl, you outside. What was I gonna say? Forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's like with love, like if you just live your life, like say you just live your best life and you're like, I want to go to Hawaii with my homegirls just to get out. I need some fun. I need to go out. I need to do this. You know, I have some ideas that I want to do for my career. I want to start my own hair salon, and I'm thinking about that. When you put your energy towards other things and you really enjoy these things, and it's not that you don't want love anymore, it's just like you kind of get caught up in other things, and when you're not thinking about that anymore, I swear to you, it's going to come to you. If it's meant for you, you can ask for Brad specifically, but Brad may not be the dude for you. Like, Spirit might show you years down the line why it didn't work out between you and him, or why Spirit did not want you with him. Or Keisha, they might show you why it wasn't supposed to work with Keisha, but then they send you Stefan or something. I don't know. I'm just making just making names up. And that's the man of your dreams. You never saw it happening like that. Yeah, I don't know, Brad. I don't know. And Keisha. If there's some Keishas in here, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. That's just the name that came up. But, yeah. I think that concludes our little thing. I hope that was helpful to some people. I'm not a guru. I'm only expressing my experiences and what's worked for me and what's worked for people around me. So, I'm not going off of what Google said, or I'm not going off of what somebody else on YouTube said. I'm going off of my own experiences. So if it doesn't sound like something you've heard already, like, oh, well, that's not what Abraham Hicks is saying, that's not what so and so said, like, well, shit, Chinoa does what works for her, and I'm just sharing it. So even if you don't do exactly what I did, it's just the inspiration, or it's just the hope, or it just gives you that, oh, I can do it too. Like, it's not hard. Like, I ain't nobody like different or special from you that I can do something better and bigger than you. I just have a method to my magic. Like the magician, he uses what he has and he makes it work for him. So that's all it is, that's all it is. Oh, another thing about the visions. I was, I don't know, this just came to me. So I was in training class for this one job like years ago. And every morning the trainer, she was fucking phony though. She was like a sales pitch lady. She was trying to get people to like work for her. But she would play these inspirational videos every morning when we would get into work. And pretty much like this one video, I don't remember if it was LeBron James specifically, but it was a basketball player. And they would talk about how like athletes and stuff like that, it was like a female boxer or something, they would visualize certain things play out in their game. Like they would either like visualize themselves doing a certain jump shot consistently, to where when they practice they perfect it or something. It was like they would see it in their mind first, and then it would play out in the physical. So that's kind of like what I was saying with your visions. Like you have to play it out in your mind first. Like you have to see the results. You don't have to get into too much of how you're going to get there, because that's the part of being a little bit in your ego. You want to know how you're going to get to that point. The only thing you need to be focused on is the point of what you want. You want to get engaged by Brad, then visualize Brad on his knees proposing to you. That's it. You don't have to think about, oh, it's got to be in May, or it's got to be at this restaurant. It could be that specific. You might want it to be a specific time, but don't worry about how it's all going to play out. Just focus on the end result and do it consistently, but do it in a way that feels good. Like you just thinking about it, like, and then you might not even have to do it consistently. Just set that powerful intention and let the shit go, and it'll be what it is. So, all right. Much love as always, you guys. I'll leave this up. I'm assuming that it will be helpful for you guys. Much love as always. Elegance, I kind of already went into how to manifest love, and that's the biggest thing that people have. That's the biggest thing. If you're trying to manifest a specific person, just tread carefully with that. Not to say that it won't happen. I've heard success stories, and I've heard not so successful stories of people trying to manifest specific people. Just from my opinion, my advice, just to make it a little lighter on yourself and being respectful of the other party, if you want to get to know your crush to see if he was even worth your time, just say, I would like to get to know my crush on a deeper level. I really like him. I would like for us to date. If he's the right guy, spirit, this is what I want. If it's not, I'm open to something else, but that's what I want. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to move on and let it be what it is. If you're trying to be like, I want him to fall in love with me and I want him to only want me, just kind of be careful with that just a little bit. Yeah, because if there's a goal, like say there is a goal and you're somewhere where there's a lot of different girls or something around, but you want him to focus only on you because you have a goal that you want to get to know him. So if you feel like there's other women that's going to be a distraction to him, or his friends might be a distraction or whatever, maybe manifest it to where there's a way where you guys can just be alone, or maybe just focus on each other to where you can get it across. But don't try to control the person. Don't try to like make them into your robot, because that's disrespectful, obviously, to somebody else's free will. But yeah, love is like one of the hardest things that people have to detach from when they're trying to manifest it, because it's like, when is it coming? I ain't got nobody here. What's going on? It's like, live your life. When you forget about it, it's gonna come. Like, when I was living my best life when I was 18, I had, desire for love, but I was so focused on work and getting money and partying and modeling and all this other shit I was doing back then, that I wasn't thinking about love. And it came to me unexpectedly. It might not have been the best person now, obviously, where I'm at, but it was meant to happen. I have my daughter, so that was meant to happen. But when you're not worried about it, you're not thinking about it, it's gonna come to you. So, deuces.